Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday the 21st of July. So what we got in store for today then? Firstly, we should just check the news events, run through the news events. There aren't any left. The main ones have happened, so we're down to the chatter coming from likes of Trump, etc. One thing I would say is we've got Japanese bank holiday today, but it was also Japanese elections yesterday, and they've come in and it's taken away the upper house. There you go, upper house elections. There, it's taken away the strength that was once there for the ruling party. So now it's a bit of a hung situation. Anyway, it didn't do any damage to the yen. In fact, the yen benefited from such. Right, we'll look at that in a moment. Aside of that, today nothing. This week we got the PMI data out on Thursday there, but there's really quite a quiet week ahead. Got some speakers going on, some minutes coming out there. Not a great deal this week at all, actually, so I'll leave it there. So quietish week ahead on the news front. So it's what we can get from politicians, eh? Right, let's look at these markets, and starting off with the euro dollar. The euro is looking like it might be trying to form some sort of turning point here. After its correction, it seems to be looking to turn. Now, I wouldn't be happy on the longer side, realistically, until it was to break this more recent high there, then giving us higher low. That would be fine. To me, then that confirms the upside. At the moment, though, it could switch back. Just looking at 751 as I record this current bar here, positive. Everything's positive actually for maybe a run up into the previous highs. So there is that possibility, the R1, but just be careful post 8 o'clock. Often we just see a complete reversal. So, but that's maybe on the cards. The pound, he says, waiting for it to appear. There we go. So the pound looking a little bit less positive, but again, the same sort of thing here. We're really looking at last Friday's highs there, and if we start taking those highs out, well, we could see further upside. We've got the weekly pivot up there around that level. Pivots are quite pinched this week, but we had a bit more action the previous week, making last week's pivots a bit wider, but they're quite pinched here, so I wouldn't be so shocked if it runs into the R2, maybe even R3 or S2, S3 sort of zone. Overall trend though on this is still looking relatively bearish. Again though, we've got this sort of bullish element at this stage. Now the R1 target would be, well, there's nothing in it. The euro certainly looks like a better of the two. Yeah, we'll see how this develops here, but I'm not in a keen rush to get into that. US dollar yen, so we're seeing a bit of a correction going on here after last week's, there you go, they made back some of last week's losses on the yen there, pulling back. It's not that far away now, so strengthening it again. Well, a sort of softer US dollar I'd suggest right away across the markets here at this stage, or majority of them anyway. Lower highs coming through here. This is a little bit more well, stronger yen basis, weaker US dollar at the moment, but no real setup. It's all sort of happened there on the data coming out. Australian dollar still on this ugly looking pattern overall. It's been edging its way to the downside. Last week, lower highs, it looked sort of like it was going to get into something more. It could still. I'm sort of looking at on the weaker side there. If we take out the low of 2 o'clock this morning there, that low there, we could see a bigger correction down towards the S1. So see what happens. Again, it's been trying to do something here on the lower time frames. Again, if it post 8 o'clock, if it starts moving up, where the R1 seems like a possible option. My preference though is a breakdown of this 50 MA effectively, and the low from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock this morning. 3 o'clock this morning. Break of that gives us a potential of more downside, more on a swing basis probably. US dollar CAD, bit flatter. This is still not really shaping too much. It sort of drifted up last week. There was probably a bit of a continuation overall, but spent a lot of time just running sideward. Again, it's in that sort of in-betweeny at the moment. A break of the lows here would be seeing me more keen to be on the short side. It had given us a lower high. At this stage, it's a bit hanging in the midst of things. Now, again, well, inverted to the other pairs, though, it could start breaking down and run down towards Friday's lows. Yes, one sitting there, really break of that makes it a bit more bullish. So that fits in, or the Canadian dollar more bullish against the dollar, I should say, makes the dollar look weaker. But we'll see what develops there this morning. It's still quite early, but really looking at that as a bit of a clue. Right, okay, New Zealand dollar. Let's go on here. New Zealand dollar just not showing too much. It's really in this strong downward trend, but again, a break of the highs here. Could see it swinging around this week a little bit more, maybe showing a bit more strength, a bit of a weaker dollar, but likewise this can spin quite quickly and we could see it rolling back over. Yeah, just pulling back a little bit over the last 15 or 14, 11 minutes. Right, US dollar Swissy. So there's nothing here that's immediate, but there's potential. This US dollar Swissy looks like it could have further downside. Again, break of the 50 MA on the 4 hourly. They're the lows from Friday at midday lows, 2 o'clock lows. A break of that level would see me a bit more interested on the short side. At the moment it's a bit mucky. Election results probably muddied the water a little bit. Right, other pairs, there's not a great deal happening here this morning. There's a lot of flat markets and there's nothing I can immediately see there that's helping. It's all looking a bit lower highs there, not looking wonderful. Euro yen, set up a little pivot swing there earlier on, that's triggered and gone. But yeah, nothing much going on there. Let's have a look across the usual suspects then. So gold, well, gold benefiting a little bit this morning on a slightly weaker dollar, but it's done such a big move here. There's nothing left for me in today's market really there. Oil still bitty as anything. You just look at how it's running through here, really going through one of these stages, just not doing anything of interest, not trading it just for trading its sake. If things are not setting up, just leave well alone, eh? Looks on if anything on the bearish side. We'll see what happens this afternoon on that. Equity markets were slightly up on the S&Ps here. I mean, we're so close to all-time highs. I would be massively shocked to see it run back into that territory. Last week we saw it really running. Well, the low was put in sort of midweek there on the Wednesday, but it drifted up there nicely. Got potential for a continuation, but it's one of these things not from here for me. FTSE, likewise, really same sort of situation. Maybe as the market's developed this morning, a minute away from open. on the cash. It's got itself into this penalty sort of price action. They're quite unreliable patterns. Too often go one way, then completely zip around the other. Okay, nothing to be done there. The DAX starting to get a little push up this morning. That could be on for its weekly pivot there. So it's really motoring at the moment. Money running through into the DAX there. So, yeah. So unfortunately, not a great deal this week. Today even. Here you go. I've just doomed the whole week. Well, perhaps now I've said that it will be a good week, but not a great deal. There is, as I say, the key news is out there on Thursday. It's running into the holiday sort of season. Certainly, we could see a bit lighter in the way of volumes as we run through. Although it's often sort of, as I said before, the weaker movements really come into late August into September. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Right, I'll leave you there. I wish you a great day. As I say, nothing to really run too much at. Maybe in summary then, likes the euro here. We'll see what it does this morning. But okay, I like this. It's pulling back a little bit at the moment. Give it a little bit of time, see if it turns around and pushes up. Right, I'll leave you there. Have a good day. Bye for now.